Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And if it's a little bit dark here today, I do apologise. The sky is a little bit overcast. We've got Hurricane Ian, and I think ours will kind of have some impact Wednesday evening, Thursday morning. I've been trying to keep up to date, but you know what things are like. They're constantly changing. So if anybody's watching and, you know, the winds are currently swirling around, then do take great care. I am up tomorrow again with Eiffel store, but I cannot guarantee Friday. So, you know, if I've got an internet connection and what have you, then I can do it. I've got a generator, so I know I'm never going to go without electricity, but it's all about the power lines. So, you know, you'll just have to hang with me. So I may not be here on Friday, but I may. Right, so Eiffel store, and I've done paper cuts, and I've made a couple of small things. So I've used the large, very Scandinavian, a little bit geometric panel die there, which, as I said in the haul yesterday, that can be used as an envelope flap, pocket flap, you know, mini album cover. You can do whatever you want with these kinds of dies. It depends the thickness of the material you use and how many times, you know, you layer them up. I've done the little gingerbread houses because I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. I just love those. So I cut those out. I've cut the gifts out, which is a lovely set with different varieties. I've done the little banner and bell set, cut those out and layered one of those up. I've done the they call them wishing bottles on AliExpress, but you know, it is a bottle. It's got a cork in there. It's got the lovely swags, and I've done that one, and it's a great size. I did measure that yesterday, and I've done two other of the panels. So I did the little round snowflake one. That's a perfect size for a small envelope. And then I also did that one. Right, so let's have a look what I got up to. First of all, the paper cuts. This is the smaller one, and that's what I mean. You know, you put it that way around and you've got a little flap on an envelope. Now, I trimmed mine down for this one just for that purpose. And if I move some stuff out of the way, I've got a scrap of cardstock here so that you can, you know, pretend it's the same size as that, but you can see what I mean. It's just, you know, you could even use it on the edge of a planner page. I just love stuff like that. You can get really creative with it. So I did that one, and as you can see, it cuts perfectly. I did the really large Scandinavia one. That's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's a real bold statement. Really easy to cut out really cleanly, nice and crisp. Great card. Maybe, you know, for the top of a larger mini album page. Otherwise, it's quite large, and I would say, you know, probably better suited to a cards, that one, or, you know, on the main front cover of an album. So I'm looking out of the window. I'm trying to remember and assess all of the stuff that I still need to clear out of the garden before the wind blows it away. You know, my brain is wandering, so I do apologise. And then I cut this one, which is really pretty. And once again, you know, you can use a different shade of cardstock underneath to really enhance them. So that one cut out wonderfully. If I'm up tomorrow, as I said, it's going to be snow globes and angels. Right, the next thing I did was the little houses. And first of all, I just cut them to make sure that they would cut, and they do. And I cut them out several times because I do intend to use these on a card. I just think they're really pretty, really easy. There's one that I've layered up. A little bit of stickles on the roof and the chimney. Just really cute. I mean, if you've got cute critters characters, or if you're using pieces of ephemera, you can just dot things like that in front of or behind. And then I cut the other two size houses because this one is a thicker cardstock and that one is a little bit thinner. That's one of those textured, I don't know if I'm getting close, textured pieces from Joanne. They're usually about 25 cents a sheet. So they cut out really, really pretty. And as I said, I just love that. Let's get close. Ooh, oh, there you go. Isn't it gorgeous? Just love those little elements. And if you wanted to draw around the die and put it on a sheet of craft cardstock, you know, pretend that that's a sheet of craft cardstock, then you've got a kind of cookie base to put it on, a cookie colour, if you know what I mean. I'll get it up there so that you could, you know, just fussy cut around and make little cookies. Right, next up is the gifts. And I've cut these in plain white just so that you can see them. Slow that down. But once again, you know, you can layer it up just like the house, and I have layered one up. So that is that one. I love this little detail here. You've got that one, which is a stripy package, kind of grosgrainish. I'll just drop one. There's another little one. I love the bow on that. I mean, paper piece in that one, I would just trim the bow section out, do whatever, and then just layer my bow up once or twice on top of that again, just to give it a little bit of dimension. But it's just so pretty. And then my teeny weeny one that I dropped, and that's got the little snowflake on it, and it's got the little star section. And here's the one that I've layered up. So I've used pink and gold to do that one. I love that it had a little heart for the tag. So I'll pop that back in. And if you get close, you can see how I cropped the bow off on the top there and just glued it back on. So I was able to use some pink and gold just on a white one. All it is one of these, and just don't poke the bits out, and put your tape on the back to hold them in, so that when you glue it down onto a project, everything is nice. Did the same with the house, holds all the pieces in. So they're just really sweet. And last but not least, we have the wishing bottle, as they like to call them. And I just did this as a transparent element that I could use as a tag. And I've used a little bit of Tombow watercolour, some stickles. It's double-sided, if I turn that over. And I used 2 layers of acetate, so I could just put some of my vintage glitter in between. And it does shake, but I don't want to send my camera wobbly. I used a little bit of stickles there on top of the stars and the moon and on that swag. And of course with stickles, if you put it onto watercolour, it will take on, if I can get in there, put my hand underneath, it will take on the colour of the watercolour that you got underneath. So where you put it on yellow, if you're using the clear stickles, it will turn gold. So it actually complements what you're doing. And like on the tree, it picked up the green. So your glitter turns green, and it's got that lovely cork in the top. But I use my hunky-dory acetate, which is like scattered with little painterly snowdrops, because it's just really easy to use. And that's what that looks like. So, you know, I can use that on a card, or I can just punch a hole and use it as a tag. But I just really enjoyed making that. And I did say last but not least, but I got that wrong because I've still got my jingle bells. So I cut the jingle bells, and I didn't poke them out yet. I wanted to leave them in because I quite like the idea of watercolouring those. So they cut out beautifully. And it comes with a larger set of bells, and I poke those out so you can see. These are watercolour cardstock again. And I did the swag and layered it up, and isn't that cute? I just love that. Watercolour again, and then layered up in white. You can see I've put no sticky tape on the back because I intend to glue that down flat onto a card. but I just really love it. And there's the little house, look. You got the little house and the swag going on, just really pretty. Right, that is what I've got for you today. Fingers crossed I will be here tomorrow. And I hope everyone has an absolutely awesome day. I thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, all links below. Bye.